Okay, parents. Hey, family. Hey, Mr. Turner here. Just want to say a few quick thoughts. And number one, pertaining to social media and interacting with your students here at school and both interacting at home. Now, I know we're going to agree and disagree and agree to disagree on 1,000 different things about social media, about the internet. And so, my goal, desire is not to in any way say, hey, you should let your kids do this, or hey, you shouldn't let your kids do this, or hey, have you heard about this? Are you scared about this yet? You need to go home and lock it down. No, I think I could go that route. I'm tempted to go that route. I think in my mind it's easier to go that route. But what I want to do is just encourage you and tell you honestly, in reflecting on this and praying about how to talk to you guys about this, what I believe God keeps bringing me back to, and how we can be honestly Christ centered in the way that we interact with, whether it's a student or whether it's our child, whether it's our spouse, whoever it is. And so, first and foremost, the quote that comes to mind is Charles Spurgeon, who says, "Day by day, the success of my day is determined on my belief in this statement. Chief of sinners I am, yet Christ died for me. Chief of sinners I am, yet Christ died for me." I think that you and I living in that grace every day, that it's Christ's work for us, that it's His Spirit's continual work for us, is definitely the key to success in knowing how to navigate through this wild, wild world, and not be operating out of fear of what's in the world, but being able to navigate, and not just navigate, but guide our students or our kids as it comes to social media and the internet and things like that. So I want to encourage you with that. Secondly, I'd encourage you to get involved with your students' life. Get involved with their Facebook. Get involved with their Twitter. I know all the students are going, no, no moms and dads on Twitter, please. But but it can be something fun, you join up with. If they're on Twitter, you might want to be on Twitter. If they're on Facebook, you might want to be on Facebook. You'll be able to understand the platform. You'll be able to understand maybe some fears that you had that shouldn't be there. Maybe some fears, maybe some things that you didn't know about that you kind of were just kind of naive about going forward. And so I encourage you to get involved on social media. If your child's on social media and you allow that, I'd encourage that. Secondly, I would encourage you. I know I have a 2-year-old son, and my wife and I already fall into the habit, and raise your hand if you're with me, of comparing your child to someone else's child and thinking that your child's all good based on how someone else's kid is doing. And so that's a temptation for us at 2 years old. I'm terrified at how easy that temptation is going to be when they're 16 or 17 or 18. And so let me encourage you that for us, that it's just constantly going back to the gospel and grace, that does my child know that God loves them unconditionally without merit, and are they living, am I kind of satisfied with their outward appearance? Have I stopped being concerned with their heart and praying for their heart and asking Christ how I can in any way be a tool to work and be that extension of God's grace on their heart, so that we know they change from the inside out? And so I'd like to encourage you in that way as well. And then I'd also like to encourage you just from a male standpoint. And I know there's some females that could speak. I know my wife has spoken about, for her, acknowledging, bringing the temptation to light for whichever gender you are when it comes to the internet and social media. I operate under this rule that was given to me and proves to be pretty true in every experience or conversation I've had. People do bad things in the dark by themselves. And so David did, right? David did in the dark by himself, should have gone to sleep. And so what I like to do is bring that temptation to light with your family. Say as a father, hey, listen, guys, here's why I don't get on the internet real late at night. Hey, guys, I had to confess to your mom the other night. Or, hey, can I talk to you about how hard it is for me not to lust? You could say to your son, I cannot tell you, dads, how liberating it is for a son to know that they're not the only ones in the world that struggle with lust. I cannot tell you how liberating it is. Don't be afraid. Allow yourself, when you and I humble ourselves, we let our kids see Jesus, and it is beautiful. Secondly, moms. I'm not going to be much help here, but my wife has told me that building emotional relationships online was an honest temptation. An honest temptation. And so even talking about you and any struggle that you have, but your open, honest confession about how you have not arrived at some pinnacle of holiness, but you're still on this journey of living by grace and living under God's grace. Your child knowing that, us students, I believe is what God uses by the power of His Spirit to share the gospel, to grow us in grace, and that we would know and treasure Him for who He is, that we really cannot come up with some secret device that's going to, we can keep ourselves from looking at anything on the internet, or we can keep ourselves from, having anyone allowing to text anything. We can have all these platforms that are very useful for people who are addicted to things, and I would encourage you to navigate those. But I believe that first and foremost, your success and my success as parents, teachers, goes back to Charles Spurgeon, that day by day my success is related to my belief in this: chief of sinners I am, yet Christ died for me. Love you guys. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.